Let's say about the institution of marriage. Okay,
Hmm.
you're like, fuck marriage. Marriage doesn't make sense. Okay, why should I commit to one person throughout my life?
दाल
As simple, you
चावल.
remember that, yeah, Ranbir Kapoor's dialogue in that, ye jawani hai diwani, jal chal for the rest of my life. Then you have, let's say, we met Jindal 2 days back or last week, whatever. He was like, why, bro? Why get into a relationship? Explore different women across the world. Then taste different things, and then so उसका वो फेज चल रहा है कि फिर देन वी गिव हिम द ज्ञान कि जब पड़ेगा ना लट्टू किसी के पीछे फिर समझेगा तू. सो ग्रेजुअली आफ्टर ऑल दीज थिंग्स you accept कि yeah, चलो monogamy is something that I want to live towards, live with. मतलब it's something institution I abide by. Marriage is an institution I abide by. Dressing well, grooming is an institution I abide by. So there's this phase that teenagers go through, and I think they require some sort of assistance or help because no one talks about it or even addresses it.
ठीक
Tell
है.
me this. So, personally, what have you guys done? I want to know that because like I remember Georgie was a 15-year-old, 16-year-old. Like every time I used to say like because I was very by the book. My opinions were very stereotypical, and when I used to like say like oh this is wrong or this is right, and Georgie always used to be like why is it wrong? And then you really can't explain that, you can't explain why it's wrong or why it's a bad thing. It was something like, in class, I remember this very vividly. And this was judgmental me as a kid, okay? Class 5. And it was just like, we had a couple of kids who had failed class 5, right? And I told Judge, he was like, whatever, their failures or whatever, like, stay away, together. Judge just goes like, so?
In class 5.
Class 5.
Joe in class 5.
Yeah.
क्या बात है भाई. What a mature guy. ठीक है, go on.
So I was like, that was something. Georgie's always been like that. I have come to terms with that little more recently, where I'm just like, you do you versus, like it's more about taking in what the whole world gives you and then making an informed decision versus being like, हाँ, तुम बारिश में जाएगा तो तुमको खांसी सर्दी होगा, लेकिन ऐसा necessary नहीं होता है.
क्या बात.
एक एग्जांपल दे तू.
अच्छा दिया तो बारिश वाला एग्जांपल.
So okay,
नहीं मतलब वो तो मेटाफोरिकल था.
No, so it's a proven fact. Like a lot of things that our generation is our generation is very curious. We're always questioning questioning stereotypes more than anything else, right? And what we do is we do a lot of research because we have the resources to do the research. Now think about it. Growing up, we all watched a lot of television. We played a lot on the PS2, PS3, right? And mummy kya bolti thi? It's like, if you spend too much time with the screen, your eyes are going to go bad, right? Now that is us taking in information and accepting that information for several years and believing in it, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you actually do your research, it has no impact on your eyesight.
That's okay.
Really, like fact, okay? But our generation now, as 18, 20-year-olds, now we can make that decision after doing our research, and it's a more informed decision. And it's our way of rebelling and questioning things. Questioning is like, okay, we all had that phase. It's like, why should I dress up? Who am I trying to impress? But then also after a while you realize you have to do it. You should do it. It's a good thing to do.
Personal thing. So my mom has been telling me all her life, ठीक है ना, जितना भी all my life also, कि नहा के cream लगा. Something very basic. I'll give you guys an example, and this is exactly what you're talking about. Cream लगा. I'm like, cream लड़कियां लगाती है. That was the notion that was fed into my mind, and I was, throughout that teenage जब होता था पिंपल आ गया, acne आ गया, मतलब मम्मा I used to feel like ये सब अपने आप चले जाएगा, ये सब कौन cream लगाता है. But then by the time I became an adult, I'm like, bro, cream लगाना चाहिए. जरूरी है. And that is what I'm saying. So there was a point in time I'm treating कि नहीं, all this is बचकाना, all this no guys don't do. But then I realized कि that is important. I think that's the kind of phase what kind of an example you were talking about, right, Joe? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
That cream, very small example, but I think it fits
very
the bill.
Small, huh?
It's different things. It's like you grow up thinking, suddenly in class 8, 9, if you have a lot of girls around you as guys, like, oh my God, you're so cool, you're a fuck boy, you're a player, vagera, vagera.
That was a cool, apparently.
That was cool apparently, and like
Yeah.
that's also in a way saying that like, and then other people are just like, being a fuck boy is bad, being like,
Hmm.
being with so many people at the same time is bad, having like multiple girlfriends is bad. But our generation is
Hmm.
such that it's like, भाई थोड़ा experience करो, know what you like, know what you don't like, then you figure it out, then you make your
Hmm.
whatever commitment.
I have another very pertinent example, okay, right now here. So I'm in, like you guys know, I'm in Bombay. So there's this particular guy, okay, he's about 19, 20 years old. And right, he's still in
Hmm.
college, he's working with us. So right now, he's in the phase where कि उसको सबको impress करना है. You get it? He'll be like,
Hmm.
हाँ मैं को काम तो मैं ये भी करेगा, मैं ये भी करेगा, मैं ये भी करेगा. अरे no, I'll say yes to everything. I will be a yes man. All right. And to be very fair, that was
Hmm.
something which even I was back, when I started working in 2021, कि हाँ भाई सब करेंगे, अच्छा impression जाएगा. And more importantly, what the excuse I give to myself is I'm exploring new things, I'm learning new things and all that. But the point is, the more boats you put your,
Hmm.
क्या बोलते हैं, what's the saying? The more things you put your hands in, you won't know what to eat. That's a very wrong phrase. But you guys get the bhavna, right?
That's not a bad one though.
Yeah.
It's like
So I
pretty
told him
pretty
also,
decent.
that day the guy was up till 4 o'clock working on something which could have easily been worked tomorrow if he had just said कि bro I will not be able to do this right now, I need tomorrow. I woke, मेरा नींद खोया. I'm like भाई तू क्या कर रहा है? नहीं इश्मीन भैया ये just काम खत्म
Hmm.
करना, अंदर जा अभी सोने. अरे नहीं इश्मीन भैया खत्म करना है तो तुम अंदर जाओ सोने, तुम कल सुबह करना है ये. तुम 4:30 बजे अभी कर रहे, कल 11 बजे उठेगा, 12 बजे के पहले काम नहीं चालू होगा. What are you're not saving anybody's time nor your time, na? So he went back to sleep. I hope came back inside, but that's the point. That is the phase, another phase which a lot of people think, I would do everything, I have to do everything. Don't, guys. You're not doing anybody a favor, and least of all yourself. What do you think, guys?
ये जॉयजी क्या notes लिख रहा है क्या?
But नहीं मेरा थोड़ा इंटरनेट आई थिंक लैग कर रहा है so I'm updating it.
नहीं नहीं.
So 1 minute.
हाँ
I
ठीक है.
was saying is that I think yeah, so these are different ways in which how it plays out, but another major facet of how I see this topic and how it plays out is on societal institutions. Like when I was talking about religion is a huge thing and how it plays out. Like we came from a place which has many like Calcutta has a good entire
Very
Muslim community. There's a
diverse.
good Catholic. Yeah, it's very diverse. Yeah, so we went to a convent school. Ishmeet has his entire Sikh background. Rahul has his entire Gujarati background. We have both have our Hindu backgrounds, which are also different. Like the way I have my Hindu culture is very different from how Rahul has his Hindu culture. So what I'm saying, and then gradually how we go about addressing issues of religion, or not religion is just an example, but how we see कि जाके pray करना है. So we don't directly go and be like, listen,
Okay.
कि our father says that ये करना है, so we will do it. We went कि first know what is God. We will not listen
I
to
think
while
it's
we
like
go to church and pray.
it's your way of finding purpose to what you do and why you do for everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good
so
one.
basically like you yourself ratify and accept those institutions one by one. So like right now the way this is my personal belief, you all can disagree, that's your own personal opinion, but the way I look at God is that I look at God like as a source of light. That's all for me. There's no body, there's no this thing or whatsoever. So even if that source of light could be Christ, that could be anything, Allah, anything. So for that matter, that's how I have started to have my own version of my own perception of religion. So वैसे every teenager, every young adult goes through accepting these societal institutions in their own way, and I think that should be encouraged. And is that it's a phase, and you should revel and enjoy that.
You should rebel and enjoy that.
Revel.
ठीक है, so saying this, Joe, I'll give you an example. Religion only, and it's something which so say something good happened. ठीक है ना, this I still do this, okay? I'm like, mummy's like, चलो thank you बोल भगवान को. भगवान को मैं क्यों thank you बोलूं?
Hmm.
This was my first reaction, okay na. My mom was like, hey, she was like, okay. But once I said this in front of my grandmother, you guys have met Dadi. Okay na. And then she's like, कुछ हुआ? She's like, बाबा जी ने दाते को thank you बोल, हाथ जोड़. मैं बोला मैं भगवान को बोलूं, मेरी मेहनत है.
Hmm.
And then she was full Punjabi. Dum boom, she gave me one. It's like, what is wrong with you? What are you nonsense you're saying? It's all because of him and all that. And that's when I realized what you're saying. Ki I feel, never given that opportunity. I feel to actually think. I was like, it was being imposed on me. Ki
Yeah.
this is this, and not given enough liberty से कि तुम खुद, at least for my grandmom, कि तुम खुद बैठ के अपना जांच पड़ताल करो. Till date I tell her all these things, and till date she fights with me.
So
So I'm
right
like,
now,
best is let it
These
be.
topics, especially when you talk about religion, when you talk about God or anything
Sensitive
political,
for
also
old.
very
Yeah.
sensitive for anybody. At the end
hmm,
of the day,
Hmm.
it's not just the older generation. It's like you will find people of our generation who believe in it as much, who are into
yeah.
it
Hmm.
as much. The
So I'm
moment you,
asking,
yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
asking right now is that what is your, how do you, let's say, approach praying, both of you?
Approach praying.
Hmm.
Interesting. So
What?
Rahul, you want to go
Okay,
first?
I think you need to give us an example as to how you approach praying, and then we can talk about
No,
it.
no,
Like,
matlab.
Like,
yeah, like I would approach, like, at the end of the day, I don't do it very regularly, but
mm,
ideally, I would like to say thank you God for this good day and then go to sleep.
Thank you, God, for the world so sweet. Thank you, God, for the food we eat. Thank
Not
you, God, for the birds that sing.
we should make
Thank you,
a
God, for
5 minute video,
everything.
a 5 minute video of just Ishmeet singing on the podcast.
Are, do you
It
remember
will
this?
go
We used to do this
viral.
in school. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
So
sorry.
something like that. So maybe you just say thank you. Maybe you just say the Gayatri mantra and then you sleep, or all these things. Like right now at the age of 23, 24, 25, whatever, we do it as a conscious decision.
Hmm.
So how
So
do
I
you
mean,
guys
I
do it?
used to do it as a kid, then I stopped doing it, and
Uh,
so this is like my belief in God is like there is a supreme being somewhere doing something. I just for us obviously whether you're Hindu, Muslim, or Christian doesn't make a difference to me. Very honestly,
सिख भी बोल दे ऐसे सिलेक्टिवली आउटकास्ट करे तेरे सामने बैठा हुआ है खराब लग रहा है मेरे को
so he didn't name any other religions also. It's okay.
जो रिलैक्स बोल रहा हूँ
thank you.
सॉरी
So my just point is like I believe in God. Like there is
Uh,
something, and I pray to
uh,
that being or supreme
हाउ
being.
डू यू प्रे टू दैट
how? The question is how do you
हाँ
pray? The question is not your beliefs.
हाँ
Earlier, it used to be regular. Earlier, it used to be like teen char mantra when I was like, before I used to sleep with my
Hmm.
dad. Me and my dad used to say. And then when I went to Bombay with my nani, she taught me like even more mantras. So she's so very religious. She's so super religious. मतलब हर दिन 1 घंटे के लिए आधा घंटा के लिए
Hmm.
वो सब होगा मंदिर वंदिर का stuff she does. Uh,
Hmm.
but I'm not that like now, especially after coming to college, I've become even less. It's like
Hmm.
it's like something has to happen.
yes
That
it's
is the problem.
stimulus
Yes, it's stimulus.
yes so it's like
I know it
कि
sounds very shallow, but it is not like that. I'm genuinely very thankful.
Okay.
you know I agree here Rahul say मतलब Joyji said कि he ends the day sometimes and you know says thank you मेरा भी वो बहुत मन करता है but I don't consciously do it it's just that मान लो कुछ हम like thank God मैं बच गया or it's like चलो वाहिगुरु जी दा खालसा or just say something like God please save me it's all to
Hmm.
do with the stimuli I think that's the right one it's not coming naturally ki har din raat ko but I
Situation.
still yeah and but I still know people even in our age who actually take 10 minutes out of the day just to talk or just to pray or just do that and that I find that very nice because I hear I am like Georgie you believe ki there's a light Rahul says there's a being even I feel there's a being who's orchestrated everything who's made everything and now we are operating on it so because I feel the big bang personal opinion even though I'm a big believer in cosmos and science I think big bang is with the big bang and all of us are just too perfect to exist without any foreign force that's what I feel that's my belief so considering
हाँ.
that I know कि हाँ कुछ है but मैं consciously जाके हर दिन प्रार्थना नहीं करता हूँ but I'm I
जैसे
don't know
let's say
very
let's
interesting
say you're crossing the road, okay,
Hmm.
and you're passing by in a car and side में गुरुद्वारा है,
I
ठीक
do
है?
this you've seen it na I do
I
this
haven't
this
noticed.
this
Okay, yeah.
this is
So
something
That
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 thing,
Papa
even
all
I do.
yeah
That even I do.
we reduce the volume of the car we just say a small prayer and then we
so
till peg
that you
the
do when your dad was there. But right now, let's say you're crossing a gurudwara, you'd still
I
do it.
do, I do. I still do it. Yeah. It's
If I'm
just,
crossing a mandir, I'll do it.
yeah, that happens. Even when I'm crossing a mandir, even if I'm crossing a masjid, any religious thing, I do it, irrespective of what it is, personally.
One thing. So since we're talking about God, I don't know why I was talking so much about religion and God, although sorry, But anyway, point being that I feel music is a very big stimulus. You know that there are so many songs with so much hurt. Whether you have rappers or you have like anything, literally. You hear Taylor Swift crying about breakups,
Mm-hmm.
or you listen to rappers and their struggles, and it's just like there is a point which comes when you're like, I was so lucky where I did not have to, endure such hardships, such adversity, and then my brain just goes to that thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Good, deep, Rahul. I got your point.
समझा ही नहीं हम
So
पूरा
I'll
ऐसे
tell you. I'll tell
excited
you.
ही हम
yeah, too deep nahi hai. It's okay. You're not deep, bro.
Oh, tables have turned.
Uno reverse card.
So the point he's trying to say is when we hear somebody's story, okay, and then we're like, yeah, thank God it's not me, or thank God I hope this guy's okay. Rahul is saying that consider the same story being said through a song. All right,
Yeah.
right. And when we listen to the song, we are like, कोई एकदम टूटा अरिजीत सिंह का दे बेख्याली type का गाना. They're like, thank God this was not me. So he's talking about that the music being a stimulus, and think of the music also as stories, as lessons, as things you hear, that even how they are a part of important things, and then we are just suddenly thankful कि हाँ भाई thank God ये मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ. राहुल मैं सही पकड़ा?
Yeah, basically.
ठीक है, but that's one way of looking at it through music.
Yeah.
There's another way of addressing the same issue that's talking about through music also, which I'll address, is that the way you like a particular song or you like a particular genre, you like throughout while growing up, I only liked the songs. I liked the songs only because my dad liked those songs. My entire taste in music is just because what my dad listened to. Anything else was filth. Okay. So new age rap, new age pop songs, what Rahul listened to was shit in my eyes. Okay. But then gradually, once I, let's say, have developed my own music taste, I don't need to listen. Like आगे there's एक होता था, people used to say, तो ये गाना सुना है? Like हाँ सुना है, bro. I have the whole discography of their songs, bro.
Discography, yes. So it's a
Yeah.
क्या होता है
discography.
भाई?
Discography मतलब पूरा एल्बम, वो बंदे के
पूरा
सारे गाने नहीं, बंदे के
हाँ,
सारे गाने A to
सारे
Z,
गाने. हाँ.
सारे गाने.
So, matlab,
Fuck
but
man.
why do I have to have the whole discography to like a particular artist? I can just like
5
Coldplay का
songs out of 200.
Paradise.
हाँ.
बस मैं पैराडाइज ही करता रहूं पूरा. तो
को
तेरा
गाना
क्या
गाने का
आपका
बहुत
क्या जा
मन
रहा
हो रहा है.
है? हाँ, exactly. So like that, with regard to me, how did you all, let's say, accept a music taste, or did you all not even think of it?
I'll have a very interesting story with this, guys. Can I go first?
Yeah, go.
2012 when Baby was launched, you all remember? Justin Bieber.
No, but yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sure you do.
So I was like, so first, who do you think sang this song? My sister asked me, a boy or a girl? I was like, a girl. I liked the song. Okay, बच्चा था भाई उस समय मेरे को मजा आ रहा था. Babe, I thought it was a nice song. But then I was like, ठीक है, it's a decent song only. But then everybody was like, hey, फालतू, what a girl, ये वो. So just to be a part of that and not be an outcast, I used to be like, हाँ भाई,
Same thing.
Justin Bieber, what is this?
Bro.
Another
1
example.
second.
And
One
now the
Direction,
same people,
One Direction, same thing.
Rahul, high five. I used to like that What
Makes You
Beautiful. Such a
Beautiful is
beautiful
such
song.
a
Yeah,
good song.
Now I'll tell you guys one thing. Right now, these same fuckers who used to say stuff like you were Justin Bieber are all dancing to Yummy, maybe got the Yummy in a fucking bar. What hypocrisy. So you, though that guy grew up in his songs, even you grew up in your mentality. I'm like that कि भाई साले तू तो बहुत बक रहा था, बहुत मीम शेयर कर रहा था 2014 पे इस सब के बारे. But so coming to the music thing, I'll just finish my point and then Rahul you can take off. I think it was my dad wasn't very, he used to introduce me to all those, he told me Billy Joel, he told me George Michael का एक दो गाना मस्त. तो ठीक है ना, and Chris de Burgh, he introduced me to that song. So I was like, हाँ भाई पापा मस्त है. But then I picked up music by seeing what others are listening to and what they found good. And then I used to do that. But then there were 2-3 bands which I found, which I still love. And they were just what I heard, like The Script or Westlife. These two bands I'm still like एकदम भाई सुनता हूँ, मैं पूरा वो romantic mood में चला जाता हूँ. And these are the things I discovered myself. And yeah, that's how I've been with music. But it's always been most of it, 60-70% of it is Ishmeet तुम LP का गाना सुना? I'm like Georgie मेरे को बोल रहा है चलो भाई सुनते हैं. And then I picked up the taste. Maybe I like the guy as well. So that's how I've been.
There was this phase with like, Daft Punk, Linkin Park, all that. Like I never got all that. Very genuinely speaking.
I never liked Linkin Park.
I Meko, have you heard of Iridescent? It's a really nice song by Linkin Park. It's a genuinely good song. I don't like most of the music, you know. So my story is a little different. My dad was very much into modern English music.
Like,
Bro, like One Republic bolo, Script bolo, Coldplay bolo, everything. Okay, but music which sounded good. No rap, no hip hop. So even now I'm like, no rap, no hip hop.
Hip hop.
I can't take it. It's like, what are you saying? I think this is not music to my ears. Any like because it's developed over time. So I'm
Interesting.
yeah.
but
So
like
I think-
recently, I've started like having a taste for rap. I kind of like it.
good.
Like very recently. Aage I used to be like, oh, kya Eminem that way.
Why you don't want to rebel?
No, but it naturally came like recently. Like I really think it's a insane skill, and plus they also like it's not just it's not just about rhyming. It's about the voice tone, voice. What do you call it? There's a lot of the technicalities to it, and many people auto tune short भी करता है, but it's a huge difficult task.
एक और बात है here. Rahul, have you seen the movie Gully Boy? I'm sure Joyji has.
Yeah,
Rahul का पता नहीं.
Yeah.
अरे वाह अमेरिकन मेरा. So
बहुत
don't you guys think, coming to this rebel part, this cultural change, do you think certain movies or certain TV shows also play like this huge ass role? Personally, I didn't listen to rap pehle. I used to think Indian rap is crap. I watched
You're
Gully
Honey
Boy.
Singer.
But Honey Singh is still good, bro. Honey Singh
I
is OG.
still don't like Honey Singh.
चल ना,
Singh is
Honey Singh
crap.
is OG. No.
Thank you.
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
ठीक है. Whatever. My
बचेगा
point.
बचेगा.
वो सब अभी भाई यार ब्राउन रंग. What a song. कुड़ी
The entire song. Wait,
Yeah, that's a good song.
A brown rang, blue eyes, love those by OG songs. Come on.
Rahul, the whole song is basically मचेगा मचेगा sure. That is the
ये
whole song.
कौन किसका गाना है ये?
ये हनी सिंह का recent
हनी
अभी.
सिंह.
ये नया वाला हनी सिंह का बात नहीं कर रहा, पुराना ओजी. तू
Bro,
आजा
have you
मेरे
heard?
क्लोज मिलता ना मौका. Okay, fine. I won't sing. Just let me finish my
But
point now.
you know that is a song. That's not rap.
No, he raps in that. You want me to rap
but
the
the
entire
song,
part
the
out?
lyrical part is nice. The rap part I don't listen to.
Rap is very good. Listen to it or listen to me singing it. My point is, एक बार मेरे को बोलने दे ना, अभी बहुत interrupt कर रहा है. Point is कि these movies also bring a cultural like huge for a point of time. It's like a huge change and everybody just starts listening to it. And everybody around me was also suddenly listening to Indian rap. Emiway Bantai, Divine, all these people picked up and I love their songs, man. The Divine is a genius. I don't know if you guys heard his songs. Emiway Bantai is damn good. Even Raftar for that matter. Raftar is
That's a
brilliant.
song.
Like good. Like lyrics are damn good.
I have a very good point. I think we should talk about this. Since you brought up movies and stuff. PDA.
हाँ.
Public display of affection.
What about it?
Growing up versus okay. So I was watching who? Veer Das, okay. Or Hasar Miraj, one of their shows on Netflix yesterday or day before. And it just goes like he had his first kiss in his 90s. But his image of what kissing was like was based on Hollywood movies and Bollywood movies. Now, Hollywood movies, as soon as that kissing scene comes, parents used to fast forward or switch off the TV or change the channel. Been there. I have definitely been there.
Everybody, bro.
And then Bollywood movies in the 90s were like, there's one person, the guy is here, the girl is here, 20 feet away, and then beach mein there are flowers. So you have no idea what is happening in the background, right? But look at our generation. That generation was like, okay,
Conservative about all these
conservative,
things.
not going to do anything in public. But our generation, you find people in Victoria, like in the Victoria, Ghats and bushes doing what sort of shit, And people are okay with PDA now, and more so because it's been normalized.
I don't think people are okay with PDA personally, but what I
Depends
feel
on the
is
country.
okay, of course you have that angle. I still don't think India में पुलिस आके भगाता है भाई. मेरे सामने हुआ विक्टोरिया में पुलिस आके भगा देता है.
Well, I'm not talking about I'm talking about
India. I'm talking about Victoria.
finer establishments, but never mind.
So what you're saying is true. Like the way we looked at kissing, we looked at sex, we looked at intimacy back then was like, Ari, तू देख
But
लिया
I'm
मैंने.
not saying it's normalized for the policeman. It's normalized for our generation.
That is what, yeah, even I'm coming to that. It has not our also, not our generation. I'm talking about the 15 to 18, 20 phase. उस समय तो भाई वही थोड़ा बहुत तभी भी ये सब शर्म आ रही है, मम्मी चेंज कर दो, हाँ पापा और वो घी नहीं लेके आए क्या आप आज, वो वाला फेज था. बट अभी but abhi I think it's better. What do you? I'll give you an example. Do you guys remember this movie Tara Rampam?
Yeah.
हाँ,
अमीषा पटेल थी उसमें.
शोना.
नहीं नहीं,
If I
लेजी
say
लम्हे.
there was थोड़ा प्यार थोड़ा मैजिक.
जो हाँ वही थोड़ा, अरे
Yeah.
क्या बात है. लेजी लम्हे, डू यू गाइस रिमेंबर? तो इट वाज अ चाइल्ड मूवी ना, अंडर तो हम लोग पूरा
Yeah.
परिवार
Oh
गया.
my
अब
God.
लेजी लम्हे में क्या हो रहा था भाई, न न न न न न पानी के नीचे येलो बिकिनी, मेरे को अभी भी याद है.
हाँ ब्रो, हमको भी याद है.
मम्मी पापा दोनों बहनें, मैं शर्म से डूब रहा था वहां पर, बिकॉज आई न्यू
Bro, one
it was
second.
instilled in my mind that
That
this is
was
wrong.
that was when we were a kid. Have you watched Band Pacha Bharat?
Oh,
Literally
fuck,
5 minutes. 5
oh
minutes,
my
literally
god.
continuously. Anushka Sharma and Ranveer Singh
And
are making
Ranveer
out
Singh,
with each other.
Oh, that was a
And bro,
monument
I'm
film.
watching this with my family, and I'm just like,
bro,
That
and
was
now
good.
now I went to watch Malang with my dad last year because Papa was in Bombay and we were like,
oh,
चलो
oh,
देखते हैं.
oh.
मैंने
Dude,
chill
dude,
था
dude,
भाई.
dude. I'll tell you the best one. There's this movie that came out with Akshay Kumar and Kareena Kapoor last year or the year before that. And it was about like sperm donor.
Yeah.
Okay.
अरे, good news. What a
Ah,
movie.
good news, good news. So I watched that with my grandmother
Oh
in the
Jesus.
theater and my grandfather. And my grandmom at interval is just like, this is not a movie that I can watch with you.
She said that.
So coming little back to our main point of
थोड़ा
focus here.
भावनाओं में बह
Yes,
गया.
yes, lecture.
Yeah,
Let's
not the lecture is that even with PDA you all can also take the same thing. Ki, people used to be very judgy about it, but gradually we accepted PDA in our own way. Like
जरूरत है
how
bro.
ऐसा क्या?
अरे नहीं, मतलब that is how people conceive it कि तू बोल ना जो कुत्ता बीच में फालतू का पॉज मारा मेरे को खराब दिखाने के लिए.
So, like that. So there are other things also. Like let's come to और क्या examples सोच सकते हो तुम? Music हुआ, religion हुआ, marriage also. I think वो love में आता है थोड़ा सा.
bro, relationships.
kids.
Forget
Relation-
marriage, relationship, number
relationships,
of
yeah.
relationships.
No, हाँ.
Ooh,
Like,
used to
जैसे-
associate. If the guy has had more than guy, I was to be like, पुरानी वाली 5 बॉयफ्रेंड मेरे पहले. हम like बाप रे बाप 5. And I thought कि भाई ठीक है, मतलब so I used to think कि people who go multiple relationships are cool.
और क्या?
Just imagine.
My one major another thing that I could think of was this thing, marriage and kids. So when I used to be like,
A
no,
kid,
I'm never
you
getting.
hated kids. Yes, I know.
Yeah, I hated kids. Marriage was like, bro, who the fuck gets married? Yeah, because like maybe it worked out because you like this. I really thought this like with my parents. Or at least I don't know if it's for your parents also. They made huge sacrifices just to have a family and just to raise us up.
Right.
Matlab, the fact that bro, we have a child and he has to go to school means that we have to stay in one city. Like those, then also like not do their own shit just because someone needs to
Yeah,
be at
of
home and
course.
raise this fucker
Right.
up. So, like I can't imagine making such sacrifices. I
Obviously.
can't even think. I'm like, bro, मेरा खुद कल कहाँ मतलब पैदल जाऊंगा कि दौड़ूंगा वही पता नहीं मुझे.
Yeah.
You know, imagine other एक दूसरे बच्चे को दिखाना है whole situation, how to do things basically. So how the fuck do I even manage that? How do I even do that? And how do I even live a life continuously with one another person? But gradually, maybe I think I'm okay with the entire institution of marriage.
And more than that, Joe, I think abhi it's too early. Once you do become a father, you will gradually get into the role. अभी सोच के लग रहा है कि मैं पैदल चलूं कि मैं साइकिल चला. It's a good point, but gradually you have to decide, and not for the बच्चा only, but for you only. कि I need to manage my own time. I think that is. But here I agree with you. Our entire, even my dad is like, हम लोग ने सारा जीवन अपने बच्चों के लिए तो बनाया. I don't want to be that, and I told him also, I don't want to be that. I want to go to I want to chill, not at the expense कि यार मेरा बेटे को आज मेरे को क्राफ्ट का होमवर्क करवाना है. भाई ऐसे तेरे टीचर से मैं बात कर लूंगा, तू जा चिल कर. I want to go and chill in Soho house, so I'm going to do that. Let's see. अभी तो ये सब सोच रहे हैं, अभी देखते हैं क्या होता है फ्यूचर में.
See, like I don't know what my perspective is really, but I'm like, I don't want to work like 50 hours a week and 60 hours a week once I'm 35. I want to be chilling at 30 hours a week till I retire maximum.
तेरा प्लान पता है हम लोग को, तू
हाँ.
बोल चुका है, रिपीट कर रहा है 15 एपिसोड
No.
के बाद, बोला कि तू मैरिज और रिलेशनशिप के बारे में बोल, तेरा acceptance to that.
Marriage. I always wanted to get married. What is there to say?
देखा राहुल straight.
Yeah, bro. Okay. These rom-coms that I watched as a kid, these songs that I listening to Taylor Swift and God knows what other stuff.
Yeah, man, we have a very, very weird idea of love, bro.
Bro, me and Ishmeet are very idealistic when it comes to all this.
एक joke है मेरा, good joke. The reason,
बोल के joke मारता है.
the reason why I think Rahul, तुझे people called you a spear. Remember the stereotypes episode? Was not because of your body structure. It was because you are as straight as a spear in the way you think.
Good one.
We covered that
feels
before.
attacked.
Why do you have to
Attacked. All racks.
But see, that's where, like, this is one of the concepts where even in my own rebel phase, whatever, I did not question. But then there are other things when it comes to relationships or friendships and all that stuff. Like, you question a lot of things.
Friendship. So friendships is a huge aspect of the way we approach relationships. Let's say I had this particular one friend of mine who was very close to me, but her entire idea of friends was like, you have one or two best friends, and this best friend you're supposed to give full focus and attention to, help them out, give them time, attention when they need and all that. It doesn't have to be asked for. It's supposed to come naturally.
Can I just say that this entire concept of a best friend is very fucked up?
Yeah. So this is you who's done analysis on the entire friendship thing, and you have your own version of it now. So वैसे with other things also, explore these other facets, institutions, and then accept them to how much ever you can, and try to be as liberal as possible.
Again, going back to that this or that a game that we used to play in 11, 12, it was like this only. Who's your best friend? Who's your number one, number two, number three? Why you have to rank?
Yeah.
What rubbish. And then you you call somebody your best friend, no, increases expectations. Big time for the other person also. And I mean, I've seen it happen more so in, I don't know why, but more so in college than school, because you guys, like, expectations were basically zero. I'm not going to lie. It's just like, I know that the day we need each other, we'll be there. The day we need to have a phone call, somebody's going to answer my call. Bas. Listeners, we are going to do our next episode in Hindi. And we're going to absolutely butcher the episode, and you're going to, please don't judge us.
Butcher the language as well.
राहुल तू करेगा, मैं फिर भी नहीं, मैं भी मैनेज नहीं कर पाऊंगा इतने अच्छे
मेरे से नहीं होता भाई.
मैं तो बोलूंगा. I think my Hindi has improved.
मैं तो बोलूंगा.
Of course. Joyji's Gujarati has also become very immaculate, you know. Saruche.
So guys, that was our episode on accepting institutions or not accepting institutions. Basically, we are exposed to them while we grow up, and like marriage, religion, best friends,
friendships,
interests, likes, dislikes, music tastes. So question them definitely and accept them in your own way, whichever you want to accept them and however you want to accept them, and have your own way of approaching them. So this is a phase that you will definitely experience, and it's a good one. Enjoy it, and you could take our tippani on it on how to enjoy it. And if you have any questions,
and if you haven't experienced it yet, just go ahead and try it.
Yeah, I'm sure they listen to this podcast.
No, if it's a 25-30-year-old, it's okay. I mean, you can still explore.
नहीं भाई, देख के बीवी बच्चे होंगे घर पे, थोड़ा रिलैक्स करके, थोड़ा रिलैक्स. हम लोग को गाली मत देना. On that note, thank you so much for a beautiful conclusion, Joyji. Yes. This was 3 Friends and a Tippany signing off. Okay. Email us at 3farty@gmail.com. Like, share, Rahul, continue.
Subscribe, please. अरे हम लोग को थोड़ा, अरे यार मेरा vibe बिगाड़ दिया.
अच्छा कर 3, 2, 1 go.
But thank you all for listening. Fuck my life. This never mind.
Bye bye guys.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.